So why is the connection and the chemistry so strong with an avoidant partner? Why does it feel like you met your twin flame? But just to find out, it's the emotionally unavailable version of your twin flame. But what is the initial attraction? Why is it so alluring? Well, there's a few different reasons for this. And the first major reason is that the majority of avoidants tend to love bomb. They often don't do it in the overt way that a narcissist does. But this is a person that has spent a lifetime bottling up their emotions. They've learned to suppress their feelings. And early in the relationship isn't real yet. It's the shared fantasy. It's the infatuation stage. The avoidant is wrapped up in the romance novel. They're swept off their feet. It feels safe because there's no real commitment yet. So they let all these bottled up emotions flow out freely early on in the relationship. And this can be very, very, very seducing. It can be very attractive. You feel like you've finally been seen. Here's somebody that seems like they are just waiting for you to come into their lives. They'll often even talk about future plans together. But it doesn't come across as overt as a narcissist would with the love bombing. It feels genuine. And it actually is sort of genuine because the avoidant is letting out these feelings that they've had bottled up. They're not necessarily manipulating in the same way that a narcissist would. Ultimately, it is a bit of a form of manipulation because avoidants often do know that they have a tendency to shut down and push people away. But early on in the relationship, when there is no fear of emotional intimacy, they let it all out. And that initial love bombing can be very, very, very captivating. Another reason is that, especially for people that are more anxious or anxiously attached, the avoidant's emotional unavailability will be picked up by the subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind, which is essentially a big library, a database of all of your life experiences, remembers your childhood. And the emotional unavailability of the avoidant will trigger familiarity from your childhood. And people tend to find comfort in what's familiar. So you won't even be realizing it, but you can often be playing out your childhood dynamic that you witnessed with your parents or your caretakers, where the avoidant is the emotionally unavailable partner. And it feels safe, it feels comfortable, it feels normal to you. And if you're more of an anxious attacher, you're the type of person that's programmed to feel like you have to earn love, that you have to prove yourself to this person to earn their love, that you have to give. And when you get the breadcrumbs, it feels so incredibly validating. So the anxious attachment that you might have if you're an anxious attacher can be part of the major reason why this person feels so captivating to begin with, because it actually is reminding you of your childhood subconsciously. Another reason is that the human mind likes to be proven right. Once again, we're going back to the subconscious. People that are anxiously attached generally have a preconceived notion that they're too much in relationships, that they're too needy, too clingy, too this, too that. So they gravitate towards partners that actually confirm their already preconceived bias. When you go to an avoidant that feels like any emotional availability is pressure and needy and too much, this will actually confirm your subconscious mind. Even though it's something that you don't consciously want to be right about, your subconscious mind feels validated by being proven right when this person confirms that you are too needy, that you are too much. You take all these different factors and you combine them together, and it can make you think that you've actually met your twin flame. But take a step back, especially if you were discarded by this person, if you were abruptly broken up with and blindsided, or if they did a slow fade on you and then discarded you. Would your twin flame, your true twin flame, if you believe such a thing exists, would that person do that to you? Would a person that loves you unconditionally drop you like a rock? Or do you deserve somebody that can actually show you the same level of commitment in return? Do you feel inside that these breadcrumbs are what you deserve, or do you recognize your worth? And do you recognize that you deserve the same level of commitment in return, that you don't deserve to just be blindsided and dropped like a rock? Working on yourself, working on healing your own anxiousness, learning to become a more secure person, a person that holds boundaries. Holding boundaries is really one of the core tenets of somebody who's securely attached. Secure people feel anxiety too. They just have the tools in their tool belt to regulate their anxiety in healthy ways. And the most important way that you can regulate this in a relationship is by holding and enforcing boundaries. Meaning if your partner is not meeting your needs, that you assert your wants and needs and hold to it in a healthy way. When you learn to be a secure person that holds boundaries, you're not going to find the emotionally unavailable avoidant types as attractive anymore. You're going to naturally gravitate away from them because when they reveal their emotional unavailability, it's not going to be compatible with you, and you're going to recognize it for what it is, and it's not going to be attractive. But while you're still in your anxious state, especially if you are an anxious person that is blaming yourself for your partner's behaviors, blaming yourself for this person pulling away, blaming yourself for the discard, you're perpetuating your own anxiety, and you are failing to hold boundaries, and you are continuing the cycle of finding yourself attracted to these type of people. Even though you consciously tell yourself you don't want someone like this, your subconscious mind is going to gravitate towards this. And if you are anxious, you are much more likely to be susceptible to love bombing. Because anxious people long for closeness so badly. And when you get it, when you get that closeness early on, especially fast and furious early in the relationship, it's like a drug. You want to feel loved so badly, and you want this to be real, that you possibly even ignore other red flags, justify bad behaviors because you want this person to love you so badly, because that's all you want, is to be loved. And it's not a crime to want to be loved. Don't beat yourself up, but just recognize that there are things that you can do to help yourself not gravitate towards people that are going to hurt you time and time again. And your boundaries are your biggest protector, because if you can actually trust yourself to hold and enforce boundaries and look out for your own wants and needs, that is the biggest step that you can make towards becoming secure, because that is what your behavior would be. That is what secure people do. Secure people hold boundaries even when it's tough. And that's a big confidence booster. And you do that for yourself, you're going to find that you're just not going to be in long-term relationships with emotionally unavailable people. And you will naturally free yourself open to be in relationships with a person who's secure and actually appreciates you and wouldn't blindside you and would not hurt you in a selfish way like the avoidant did.